Well, good evening and welcome to News 13 at 5:30. This is a very exciting day as we are hosting a very special roundtable discussion with small business owners from all across Western North Carolina. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to let you guys kind of go around, introduce yourselves, tell me just a little bit about your business. Joel, we'll start with you.
Sure. My name is Joel Friedman. I own Zuma Coffee in downtown Marshall, North Carolina. We've been open for almost 24 years now, and we're Marshall's meeting place.
Awesome. Jason?
And my name is Jason Hefner. I own Hef's Restaurant, downtown Spruce Pine. We've been open for about 13 years now, and the local meeting spot to come and relax and have good food in the afternoons.
Paul?
I'm Paul Brock. I own Lured Market and Grill along with my wife Kara in Lake Lure. We're right on the lake, and we are both a local market serving local everything from local crafts to local vegetables, fruit and meats and artisan foods, wine and beer. And then we also have a grill and a bar across the street, and we do a lot of farm to table, casual burgers, fresh salads, things like that. We've been in business in Lake Lure going on 7 years now.
Awesome. And Brian?
I'm Brian F. Rosacker. I'm co-owner of Highwire Brewing based in Asheville, North Carolina, and we've been open about 12 years now. Just happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy you guys are all here. Thank you so much. So, Mountain BizWorks, they posted a local business impact survey back in July that showed that 96% of small businesses were impacted by Helene, and then 83% of those businesses were forced to temporarily close. So just kind of a show of hands from everybody, how many of y'all were forced to temporarily close from Helene? And Jason, I kind of want to start things off over here with you because y'all are still temporarily closed. You're so close to reopening, but just kind of take us through it a little bit. I mean, I know y'all went from 8 feet of water in your building to now you're almost to the finish line. Just kind of walk us through it.
Yeah, so you're right. We had about 8 feet of water in, about 3 or 4 feet of mud we had to shovel out. We got all that done and then started. That was, we started the rebuild process back about March, and Mountain BizWorks was a big contributor to help us get that started back up. And then we made the decision together to come back and to start putting the walls back up and cleaning everything on the inside. And contractors were great to come in and join hands with us. They become close partners while we did the rebuild. And we've just been working steadily since then and getting so close. It seems like 1 week you're ready and then that challenge, and then you have to get this challenge for the next week, and that's where we're at now. We're getting close to the finish line, so it's been a journey. It's been a real journey to do this and to do the rebuild and to work with the community to get that done.
What is it like for you, Jason, being in Spruce Pine versus somewhere like Asheville? Do you see kind of a difference in the journey and the people around?
No, I think, we relied on some input from folks in Asheville to get reopened. A lot of it came from local contractors we had there, and they had built restaurants in the past, and they kind of knew what those were, to get say, whatever, get for the contractor ready or to reopen. So we did use some of the resources like Mountain BizWorks for financial help, but other than that, we stayed mainly in this county, Mitchell County.
Awesome. And Joel, I kind of want to pass the baton over to you here because I know you are back reopened, but that was a journey. I mean, I remember when I first met you, you were out of a truck making very good coffee, I might say. The coffee out of the truck rocked. But I mean, gosh, just tell us, Main Street in Marshall, that was something.
A journey is exactly the way to put it. My community, Marshall, just came together right after the storm and got to work. That's the way Marshall is. No one waited for anything. Nanestead, a local organization, organized, and we had a hub to go to. We had a place that everybody could go to get questions answered, to get protective gear, to get the tools needed, the transportation back and forth. And Marshall was just really fortunate in its size that we all bonded together and we got things done. I was open 7 months after the storm and been open a little over 4 months now. And Marshall is kind of feeling familiar. Not normal yet, but it's familiar.
And that's amazing to hear, because I know talking to you maybe back in spring of this year, and it didn't feel normal then, but now here we are.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're feeling some normalcy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really exciting to hear. Brian, I kind of want to come over to you for a second, because obviously we were sitting here at Highwire. Highwire is back open, but that was a process to get to where we are right now. I mean, what does it feel like being here in the River Arts District? Back open, is it normal? What is it like here?
It's definitely not normal, but it's a big step towards normalcy. I think we're one of the only businesses on the lower RAD area that's open at this point. We're looking forward to everyone else opening probably in the next couple months, which would be great. But I'm thankful that we don't own this property, so our landlord took on a lot of the recovery efforts. I think if it had been left to us and our staff, and I think just emotionally it would have taken a lot longer. It took us about 8 months to reopen here, and it really wasn't clear until the very end that we would reopen. I think everyone was pretty emotionally scarred by everything, and it's just hard to make that leap, and I think the community convinced us to do so, and I'm thankful that, when we reopened on Memorial Day weekend, that the community really showed up and verified that it was the right decision, and it's nice to see that that people support what we're going through. And
Totally. Yeah. That is something that I think when I talk to each of you guys, you talk about community and support, and that is really, if you could come up with any kind of positive thing from this tragedy, it would be the way community has really showed up
Absolutely.
for each other.
Yeah.
Paul, talking about community, I love y'all's story. If you can kind of share a little bit with us, because after the storm initially hit, you and Kara, your wife, couldn't even get to your restaurant yet, but your staff was already there, and they were already just feeding people. I mean, kind of share a little bit about that with us.
That was pretty amazing, and that's the part that still gets to me, because we had a chef and then our sous chef down in Mill Spring, and they came in the next day after the storm, and debris everywhere, water still everywhere. We were lucky. We were kind of protected in the cove, so we got some water in the store, but so it was kind of a mash unit type situation. And then across the street at the market, the water got up to the back deck, so we were lucky. We didn't have electricity, but we cook with gas, so we started cooking. When I got there we got helicoptered out Sunday night. When I got there Monday morning, they had been cooking for 3 days for folks, and we were cooking for everybody from the 101st Airborne who came in, to the National Guard, to townspeople, friends of ours, people we didn't know that became friends, who didn't have a power or electricity, and we were lucky enough that they made us a priority to get power back on after 3 days. And in the meantime, the market, which was set to open as a coffee shop and fresh meats and all that stuff on October 4th, became kind of a operations center, Starlinks and chainsaws and water and food and bedding and generators. We gave a lot of generators away, and we had showers there. So it was a really surreal experience. Helicopters flying all over, and 15-hour days. But man, we had volunteers that came down there and treated it like their job. I mean, they would ask if they could have a day off to go to the doctor. I'm like, you guys are volunteering. So that was we're already a tight community in Lake Lure, Chimney Rock, and even up where I live in Back Cave. But I think it really brought people together to try to make sure their neighbors were okay, and we've been doing that kind of ever since, in terms of community trying to rebuild, because each area is different, but we were able to open back up late November, and then the coffee shop we finally got up online sometime in January.
Which is exciting. And so you guys are reopened. According to the Mountain BizWorks survey, as of July, 93% of businesses have been able to reopen. But I think we all know, just because you're able to reopen doesn't mean that was the only challenge, right? So as we head into fall, Paul, especially in a town like Lake Lure, I know that tourism is always critical for small business owners, but does this fall kind of take on a new meaning?
It does. It does. Chimney Rock is starting to come back online with their businesses, and people are excited about that. The park is open. We're still doing a lot of road work on 74, 64, and 9, those roads going in. But Lake Lure and Chimney Rock are super accessible coming in the other way, coming up from the south, and it's really not that much longer to get in there. So we're seeing some tourists come back. We're seeing a lot of enthusiasm and support from our locals. We are missing the lake, but by all indications, we may have a lake back by spring, and I think that's going to make a big difference. We're missing our part-time people that come up and spend whole summers there. They're just not doing that, and nor do I blame them really, because the lake has now dropped down, and we're dredging it out and taking homes and everything out of there and cars, and so that's been quite a process. Sure. Lots of big machinery down there, but Lake Lure is open. Chimney Rock, for the vast majority of it's open, and we just encourage people to come see us.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, what does tourism look like over in Spruce Pine? What are y'all seeing people? Do you normally see people in fall? What does it kind of look like over there?
Yeah, we usually do, especially leaf season. When the leaves start changing, we start getting our tourism really starts up there through Christmas. When they come to buy the Christmas trees up in Avery County. And we have seen some tourists come through. They stop in, some of the regulars that would come up from the south, but they stop in and they ask when we're going to be ready to go. So we are seeing them come through now. All the highways are open into Spruce Pine, and Spruce Pine downtown and Upper Street and Lower Street are mainly back open. We've got several, I think 5 or 6 of the normal restaurants are back open, so there is businesses open now, but as far as the tourism to come in and stay, I'd say it's still maybe down just a little bit, waiting on that to come through. I think some of the statistics is showing about 40% down maybe from what we're expecting this year. So hopefully with things like this, we make this awareness out and we can do some marketing to bring that in to boost our tourism.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Joel, what are some of the biggest challenges, even, we're a few weeks out from the 1-year mark, that you're still facing as a small business owner?
For our town, Marshall, it is all of the core businesses coming back into town. It's having a post office again downtown. It's having some of the mainstay businesses reopen again. Maybe having a courthouse again, or if the courthouse doesn't come back, a type of business that would draw the local community. Tourists are coming back. We've been really fortunate to get people excited to see what's going on in Marshall. What we're going to have a harder time doing is getting our local folks to come into downtown Marshall. So we're maybe in a little bit different paradigm right now. But
yeah, why is that, do you think?
People are very interested in the Marshall story from outside of the community. We've done an amazing job of getting our story out, the size of the town, the location of it, how hard we were hit, and how quickly we came back. It's been compelling to people to come and see that. The local folks, they lived it. They don't have to come and see it again. In fact, sometimes don't want to come and see it. So our challenge is a little bit different right now, but we're stepping up to the plate, and we're having different kind of local markets happen, whether it be through music or art, through food, but every week or two something is going on in downtown Marshall. It's been really encouraging.
Which is encouraging. Brian, what about here in the RAD? I mean, I see all the time you guys are having different events, different things for artists going on. So I mean, we're lively down here. Are we seeing the people?
Yeah, I would say people are coming out. I think it's more of, I think there's this narrative that it's not safe or that we don't want people in Western North Carolina. And I think that was true in the beginning, and we did a good job of getting that story out. And I think now it's time to change the narrative. And I think we've been working on it. It's getting better. I would say we've had a great local support here. And then the tourists that are coming, I think, are supporting the local businesses, but we just need more. Everyone needs more. It's just, I don't think, with the current economy and way things are going with people's spending habits, it's only going to amplify this for our area.
Right. Definitely. Well, and we just went around and we're talking about challenges that everyone is going through and things that you guys are facing, but we're all still sitting here today, right? Everyone wanted to reopen. Everyone is working to reopen. So how did going through something so tragic that Helene was almost strengthen your roots here to want to stay in Western North Carolina? Paul?
Well, I was born and raised, I was born here and grew up in Durham, or I was raised here. But, let me say that again. Durham was where I spent the last several years, but I grew up in Haywood County and didn't think I'd come back to the mountains. But as I grew and matured, I realized the mountains were kind of calling me back. It kind of gets inside of you, and for all the natural beauty and the things that we have, it really is the people. This is the most resilient bunch of people I've ever seen. So what I would say is that with the thing that has changed for us is people that were friends have become lifelong, just lifelong friends, and folks that we didn't know have just stepped up, sometimes in the most surprising ways, and done so much that if I didn't appreciate it before, and I did, I think, but we appreciate it now. I mean, it's about the people that live in these mountains, and the people from outside that appreciate it and come to support. I think we talked about it a minute ago. People are interested in what's happening in Lake Lure, and they come from all over and say, we heard about you guys, or we heard about Lake Lure, or we heard about Chimney Rock, and we wanted to come support. And we're finding a lot of that, and that's truly heartwarming and encourages you to keep going.
It's amazing. Brian, what about you? How did it strengthen your roots to want to be here?
I think ironically, COVID in a way set us up for resiliency in some weird way, where I think we were more prepared to pivot in a time of crisis. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure. I don't think anybody's really had time to process what we've really gone through and really process what that means for us individually. But I'd like to think that we'll be stronger in the end. We're trying to find ways to bring people back down here. We're adding pickleball, we're adding golf simulators. We're just trying to add to the experience to bring people back to RAD, because we believe that this is a place that Asheville needs, and we want it to survive.
I believe in that too, Brian. Joel, what about you?
Just to see community come together, and the resiliency of Marshall has just made it where there's no other place I would want to be. I just absolutely love the people. I'm going to echo what he said, is all the beauty is fabulous, and that's the background of it, but the heart of the people that I've met, the community that I've met and become part of, has just been incredible.
Because there had to be a moment for you, especially I know we talked about before when we met, you were working out of a food truck. Like I said, had some of the best coffee I've ever had. What was it, a Cubano?
No, well, we had Cubanos,
really
but
good.
Counterculture Coffee just took good care of me.
Really good coffee, you guys. But it had to be for a second there. I mean, going through that, did you have that? Can I do this? Is this going to work? How is this going to work?
Absolutely. I watched the storm happen. My apartment overlooked the French Broad River. I watched every bit of the flood happen. When it got dark, I could hear the sounds of the trees hitting the bridge, the barrels coming down, and God knows what else. I saw buildings floating down Main Street, and in my mind's eye at that point, it's like, no, the town's destroyed, it's devastated. How could I possibly do this? Took a little moment off, drove up to the Nanestead, our little community hub, and I was surrounded by my community asking me to become part of a rebuild. That I was the one that started it 24 years ago. We needed some leadership, and from that moment on, my heart was in it. Heart, soul, labor, whatever it took, we were going to make this happen again.
And now you wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Jason, what about over in Spruce Pine?
The community involvement has been just incredible. From kind of what Joel said, to echo that, was back in the very beginning, we would be working to clean up, and there would be people coming in to help. We didn't know who they were, we didn't know their names. They would come in and work all day with you and be back the next day. And then the community would come in, and just this last week we had two fellas come in that did contract work with said that they wanted to come in and help hang pictures. So they got their nails and their hammers and they started hanging pictures up around the restaurant that we needed help with. It's just been a tremendous amount of support from the local community, and they all come by and send text or Facebook or, you know, call when are you opening? When are you opening? Everybody's excited for us to get that started back.
Well, I'm dying to know, when are you opening?
Yeah, I want to come down. I wanna get down.
We've been trying. We've set so many dates. Hopefully, this next week will be the week. There's 2 challenges we're waiting for to get addressed, to get our Coke machine back up and running, and then there's a part on our cooler that is we didn't expect to not work until yesterday. So once those 2 pieces come in, then we'll be operational.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. So when you guys think about long-term recovery, now that we are about to hit that year mark, you know, we've gone through just the initial shock, the rebuilding phase, the recovery phase. Now we're talking about long-term. Bryna, what does that look like? What do you need long-term to be successful?
Oh, what do we need? Honestly, we're just trying to focus on the positive things. We're throwing a big party on the 27th. We have, you know, our Oktoberfest. We have the marathon. We have everything. We're just trying to focus on kind of staking our claim on survival, I guess, in a way of we're here, we're going to stick around, and we just need the community and the tourism to come back. I mean, I hate to keep bringing up tourism, but like that's a big piece of what makes Western North Carolina. And we just need people to come back and feel comfortable coming back and to know that we want them here.
Yeah. Paul, what does it look like long-term success for y'all?
Well, Taylor, I'm glad you asked that question because long-term success, I mean, we get some of our assets back, and that's I just mentioned the lake. The folks that are working on the lake, there's a group down there called Stott Construction, and they are doing a yeoman's job getting the stuff out of the lake, and people have done the same thing for Chimney Rock. The Amish have been in Chimney Rock along with this group Spokes of Hope, and they have rebuilt that town. So I think long term, and then we're doing some stuff with our chamber. We kind of revitalized our chamber after COVID had kind of left us not doing too much with the chamber. So we're trying to do some community development work down there, and really exciting up in Girton and Back Cave, which is Henderson County, but it's all one gorge. We've got to rebuild the river. I mean, the river right now has got no access, got no shade, got no swimming holes, and what's really neat about it is you can redesign a river. Chimney Rock has hired a group to do their stretch of river from the Esmeralda down all the way down into Lake Lure, and those guys are going. They're in the process of identifying projects, and then once you identify a project, you can find out where you can get the money for it. And so we're trying to do that same kind of thing in Lake Lure, and even it's even tougher in a place like Back Cave and Girton because they're unincorporated. You've got a great fire department there. We've got put together a task force with Henderson County. But what I would tell people out there, we're going to need is, come back, visit us. If you can volunteer. But when we start doing these projects, we're going to need some money. And whether that's the state has been amazing with what they've done so far. The governors have been in Lake Lure, the previous governor, and now Governor Stein. So we need people like that can. Secretary of Commerce was there that can come in and help fund these projects because it's going to be a long road. Right. But ultimately, I mean, I'm optimistic that we're building back better.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. Joel, do you feel kind of the same?
Well, there's a mixture of both views, actually. We grow organically in Marshall, so we just kind of keep focused on what's ahead of us in that moment. We know there's still a lot of long-term recovery, a lot of questions to be answered, but our idea is just to keep the excitement going step by step and never get too far ahead of ourselves. And that seems to have worked so far.
So far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed.
What about you, Jason, when you think about long-term recovery?
I think our downtown committee has done an outstanding job. Mitchell County Chamber of Commerce getting some of our festivals back online. The downtown Main Street has come together and already had the Hellbender Festival, and I think we've had one more since then. So they're starting to bring the folks back into town, and most festivals have been very successful. And then the Blue Ridge Parkway opening back up, that's another, route to bring people in through Spruce Pine. It's slowly opening back up. So I think with those pieces coming together and working closely with them to re-energize that tourism flow to come back through and people stopping through will be a huge help for us.
So, Jason, I want to know from all of you guys, but we'll go ahead and just start over here with you. When you think about this last year, what have you learned about yourself and your community?
Gosh, you learn a lot. There's places and there's times that you're thinking, how are we going to get to the next day to get this done? And you just go down, and it really teaches, resilience. You see it everywhere since it's having resilience. Until you've been in there and you have honestly felt that, and you go back the next day to do that job, the resilience is really, I think, what backs everything. And when you feel that and you live that, it brings a whole new definition, I think. And working with the people, the community coming in and seeing that support has been huge. And there's no enemies at that point. Everybody's on good terms and working good together.
Right.
So I think that is the biggest thing with me.
Bryna, what about you?
I think resiliency is definitely a common topic. I often think, am I resilient? But when you get right down to it, quitting isn't an option, right? You have to take the big problem, break it down into smaller chunk-sized pieces, and then identify the things you can control of those things and work your way through it. It doesn't really seem like there's another option when you're in it.
Yeah. Paul?
What I've learned about our community or ourselves, or what?
All of the above.
Well, I'd say that we've learned, even at community and individually, it's hard to kill us, because this thing was unbelievable. I mean, we had tornadoes in Back Cave, we had floods all over, we had whole neighborhoods washed in, businesses gone, and for the vast majority of folks, they're coming back. I'm running into people that came to Lake Lure on a regular basis and now are moving there. They said we're inspired to move there and buy houses. So that kind of coming together as a community, I think individually you kind of figure out that you can keep going in a spot that, there are days, you just alluded to it, where you're like, oh my gosh. And I'm dealing with the house stuff, I'm dealing with all the business stuff, how do we keep our people employed? But you do what you got to do, and I think there's a big payoff, and I think that everybody has a new appreciation for the community and the beauty that we have as we kind of get back to that.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Joel?
I knew I loved my community. Now I know I really love my community. To see how people stepped up for one another, to see the resiliency, again, to use that word, is just heartwarming. We were all friends, and we've become family now, and that's been the greatest thing. And we've seen humanity at its best, right up and close up.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's been absolutely amazing, yes.
Does it feel like it's been almost a year to y'all?
No.
Yes
Yesterday.
and no.
Yes. Yeah. We were at such a surreal place when it happened. I mean, it really was odd. I mean, we were back cave and you got helicopters coming in and out. It was like a MASH unit. And you just go through that thing, and then you start to get a little more normalcy. And so when you look back at it, on one hand, the whole story, it's very vivid, what we experience, and each person has a story that how they experience the storm. But on the other hand, we're so far from, we've made such progress that it does seem like a long time ago in some ways.
Yeah. What do you think, Bryna?
Yeah, I think thinking back and processing things like not having water for almost 2 months, you kind of forget what you went through. And I remember we left town for a weekend just to do laundry, take a shower, and just feeling like we were fish out of water. We were only 2 hours away, and it felt like nothing had happened, because it hadn't. And in my mind, I was like, this is like COVID. This is a trauma that everyone's going through, and then you get just out of town, and nobody's going through what you're going through, and it just creates this disconnect and this fog of,
It does.
and it's really surreal.
It is, and
experience it.
I agree with you on that. I remember when I went away for a weekend just to go home and see my family, and it is weird just getting 2-3 hours out of here, and you're like, I can explain to y'all what's going on, but y'all don't really get it unless you go through it, right?
Absolutely.
Do y'all feel that way?
Yeah. And I never knew anything about waterways or municipal water or anything like that. Like hearing you talk about all the details of the river, I'm like, I know way more about river flow than I've ever cared to, and it's just crazy the things that we learned.
We've had a learning curve.
Yeah.
But I'll echo that. I had a friend that went away for a weekend, and she came back and she said, I felt like a fish out of water with the people that were like, oh yeah, y'all aren't back together now, or even people that were concerned, but they just, until you see it and live it, it's tough to experience that, and you go away and you feel like I got to get back.
Yeah, it really did feel that way. Like you go somewhere where there is water and there is power and things are normal, but you're like, it doesn't feel right not being here during all of this.
Yeah, there was a guilt, like I should be there doing something to help.
Yeah. What do you think, Joel? Does it feel like we're 2-3 weeks away from the year mark?
Yeah, it feels amazing, but there's still now this sense of, wow, we've come so far, we've done so much, and we've got so much more to do. We still have a long way to go, and it's encouraging that people are still showing up. The community is still gung-ho. Everybody wants to make it happen.
What do you think, Jason?
Oh yeah, I think so too. Working hard with the community and getting everything back open. I think our town has come up good. And we're starting to have businesses down there, but long term, those goals are still, it's hard to focus on them because we've just got another week to go and you're so focused on that next week, but long term goals definitely got to be addressed to increase the tourism and to get our jobs back opened up, things like that.
Do you feel like it's almost been a year? Or does it feel, what's it been like for you over there?
It does at times. Really, it doesn't feel like a year because it feels like yesterday we were just doing it because you just keep going so hard. There's not been an end in sight. You get up every day driven to get down and to make this happen. Not only for yourself, but we got about 25 employees. We got to get back to work, and then we got a whole community that's looking forward to coming down and have pizza and wings and burgers at Hef's, and that's what drives us the hardest is to get that open.
What's your favorite thing on y'all's menu?
Probably the pizza. It's been in the restaurant for several years, and that's been our biggest focus is our pizza, and that's probably the best one. Yeah.
I love that. Well, we'll all have to make sure to come down and try a slice once you guys are back open very soon.
Yes.
I'm going to put all of y'all on the spot here a little bit, just because I want to know. One word, okay? If y'all could each come up with one word when you think back on this past year, how you describe it, how you feel, what is one word that comes to mind? Joel, I'm going to start with you if you can.
Community.
Yeah. Community, yeah.
Absolutely.
Jason?
Probably determination.
Rhina?
That was mine. I don't want to say resilient again.
Somebody's got to say it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the issue is that there's a lot more to go. And so I don't want to be like negative, but I also don't want to be overly rosy either because there's still a lot more to do. Yeah, I mean, it always comes down to community and resiliency. I mean, I don't know how else to embody that. Yeah.
And it's been all of that. I echo, and then it's been life changing. I mean, you don't, and hopefully for the good, you come through this and you see things differently and you appreciate things more and you tell people how you feel a little more. But I would say the whole experience is just, I mean, I lost a wife years ago to ovarian cancer, and that changed my trajectory in life completely. But this is that kind of event on a community scale, which is, there's loss, but then there's the good that comes from it. So yeah, I don't think you can go through this and be the same person.
That was
Not on the ground.
That was a lot of words, but I'm appreciative.
Yeah, sorry. I don't do anything but just life changing. I'll say that.
Life changing. That's good. That is true. I know. Is it kind of at the point now where it's like, it was a really awful, hard thing to go through, but it's almost like I couldn't have imagined not going through it now with the way it's brought our communities together. Does it feel that way at all? Is that crazy to say?
Well, you know, I look at it as a great opportunity to help create a new community, a new future for Marshall, and to be on that ground floor again and building it up. It gives me great purpose and want to be down there doing this. And so
Yeah.
there is good that comes from it.
What do you think, Jason? Is that crazy to say there's good that comes from it, or
Yeah.
have you found some?
No, we were the same way. We were in the process of remodeling the restaurant back before like the month of September last year, and we just got a new facade grant, so we're doing the outside, new awnings and things, and then Helene hit, so it forced us into a total rebuild. But that is one thing that, you know, we have a new restaurant, we have all new appliances. It's going to be a better product when it comes out.
Awesome. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity for good, both in the growth and in just, you know, it's a blank slate. I mean, if you guys don't know it, go on Raise the Rock. That's Chimney Rock's plan for more green space, for more usable river, and it is so tough what's happened there. But I really believe, and I'm so proud of my friends there. That place is going to be amazing, and I think Lake Lure, and I've heard the stories of Marshall, and I've been through Spruce Pine, and of course Asheville. You know Asheville's going to come back and be as cool and fun as it is. So yeah, I mean, I think it's an opportunity.
Right now we're sitting here at Highwire. Y'all are going to open here in just a few hours, which is exciting. Just another day, right?
Yeah, just another day.
But we're happy to be here.
Yeah, so happy to be here. I think the future is bright for a lot of areas that have been impacted, and you know, I've talked to a number of people around town, and they have a lot of opinions on what the River Arts District should look like going forward, and the city is asking for feedback. I don't know the website, but I know it's called Radvocate. So if you have a chance and you have an opinion, I know everyone does, get on there and tell them what you want to see, because now's the time to rethink everything that we're doing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I just want to thank all of y'all so much for being here today and for taking the time to sit down with me. I'm sure everyone is going to appreciate this special conversation. I know I did. That is going to do it for us here at News 13 at 5:30. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this special roundtable, and thank you so much. Shout out to Highwire Brewing. Thank you all for hosting us and letting us put this on here. We are so thankful to be here, and that will do it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.